Hello students. So in the previous video lecture we already discussed regarding the securing the application access domain as well as controlling user access to data and protecting the storage infrastructure. So in the present video lecture I'll explain securing the management access domain as well as security implementations in storage networking. So management access, so whether it will monitor as well as it will provide all the storage aspects with respect to the resources in association with every devices within the storage network. So whenever we'll consider the term management access, so it deals with monitoring as well as provisioning as well as managing the entire storage system. The storage system must and should includes the resources as well. So the resources are also associated with every devices within the storage system or storage network. So implementing the different levels of control so that we can provide the security to the storage management application. So which is more important, why? Because the damage that can cause by using these application can be more expensive. So we have to give the better storage so that we can avoid the damage which may cost using different types of applications. So we can that we are having in the diagram, so it shows different security threats in a management access domain. So here you can observe that we are having different security threats with respect to the storage domain. So here we can observe that the storage networking environment in which the production host are connected to the SAN FC switch, that means the SAN fabric, and are accessing the production storage. So the production host which are connected to the FC switch, via FC switch, so we can access the production storage array A. So now this production storage array A is connected to the remote storage array B. So that means the production host A which is connected to the remote storage array B for replication purpose. So this configuration has a storage management platform on host A. So we can observe that we are having the storage management platform on host A. A possible threat in this environment is an unauthorized host. So I can assume that any unauthorized host can get the identity of any authorized host within the configuration and it can try to access the data. So that means a possible threat with respect to this configuration environment. So this is the unauthorized host. It can try to get the identity of host A and try to access the production host through the network. So for example, an unauthorized host may gain the management access to remote array B. So it can through the network IP network. So the unauthorized host can get that is using spoofing a host identity. It can gain the control over or it can access remote array B. Providing management access through an external network increases the potential for an unauthorized host or switch to connect to the network. In such situations, implementing appropriate security measures prevents certain types of remote communication as well as certain types of unauthorized access on the remote area. So I can say that here we are having the possible access, the possible threat may be unauthorized host is he's accessing the network and it can access the storage area B, and the possible threat possible threat means spoofing. The identity of host A will be taken by this unauthorized host and it can try to access the storage area B. So we already discussed regarding security threats with respect to the access domain as well as security threats in a management access domain. So the last one is securing backup, replication and archive. So a backup involves copying the data from the storage array to the backup media. So backup media, I can consider it as either tape drives. Either we can consider the backup media as either any tape drives or any other storage devices. So suppose if you are considering securing backup, so suppose if you are considering securing backup, which is more complex as is based on the backup software that accesses the storage area. So providing security with respect to the backup device is the challenge over here because it's based on the backup software that accesses the storage area. It also depends on the configuration of the storage environment. So it also depends upon the actual configurations of the storage array or storage environment, I can say. So organizations must and should ensure that the disaster recovery, that is DR, site maintains the same level of security for the backed up data. So this DR network must and should maintain the same level of security for the actual data as well as backed up data. So in the diagram we can observe that we are having the storage array, so which consisting of the backup device and the data can be backed up here. So this is the local site. So one more site we are having it as DR site, that is disaster recovery site. So here we can observe that a remote backup design where data on the storage array is replicated over the data on the storage array is replicated via the DR network, disaster recovery network, on the disaster recovery site. So here we can observe that in the media, so we are having the media theft as well as DOS attacks. Such threats represents potential violation of integrity, confidentiality and availability of the data. So whenever the threat occurs, whenever there is a occurrence of any threat, it may affect the availability of the data, integrity of the data as well as confidentiality of the data. So in a remote backup solution where the storage components are separated by the network. So if you are considering the remote backup, so we'll keep the backup device on the remote site. The threats at the transmission layer need to be countered. So that means in the remote site, whenever the data is transmitted to the remote site, so those data traffic will travel through the network. So there may be a chance of an attack. With respect to the network also. So in a remote backup solution where the storage components are separated by the network, suppose how I can provide the security threats in the backup. So I can avoid I can pass the backup data through the separate network, so that we can avoid the number of threats at the transmission layer. Otherwise, an attacker can spoof the identity of backup server. The attacker can spoof, or he can get the identity of the backup server, and he can try to access the data. The unauthorized host climbing to the backup server may lead to a remote backup being performed to an unauthorized and unknown site. So along with that, an attacker can use the DR site, that is disaster recovery site, or network connection to get the data, as well as he can spoof the identity of authorized users, and he can try to access the data. So in order to avoid that, we can go for encryption of the data while copying while sending the backed up data to the backup server. The physical threats of the backup tape being lost or misplaced, or especially if the tape contains highly confidential informations. So this may be another type of threat. Backup to tape application are vulnerable to the severe security implementations if they do not encrypt data while backing it up. So how to encrypt the data while sending the data to the backup server. Security implementations in storage networking. So in the case of storage networking environment, which are the major target for unauthorized access or theft or misuse of data, because the complexity of this environment is less, and easily the attacker can try to access the data directly from the backed up data or else from the storage area. Therefore, the security strategies are based on defense in depth concept. So in the case of FCSAN, is configured is an isolated private environment with lesser number of nodes than an IP network. So in the case of fiber channel SAN, so we are having lesser number of nodes within the SAN architecture. FCSAN impose the security level which is also less. The security level considered with respect to the SAN architecture which is less, and nowadays there is no single solution or single comprehensive security solution is available for fiber channel SAN architecture. So in the case of fiber channel, so we can consider the protocol like fiber channel security protocol in order to provide the security mechanisms. So and algorithms between IP and FC interconnects. So these standards describes different set of protocols which can be implemented in order to measure the security aspects in a FC fabric, and among fabric elements, or that means the components of the given fabric and the endpoints within the fabric. So we have to use some set of standard protocols which can be implemented in order to provide the security measures in FC fabric or the components within the fabric, followed by the ports. So in the diagram we can observe that we are having the SAN security architecture, so that is nothing but defense in depth. So here we can observe that we are having different zones. So security zone A, security zone B, security zone C, etc. And different zones are configured by considering either administrator or else access control switch or else switch to switch or router connection. So protect traffic on the fabric may be either using different port authentication, for example e-port authentication, or we can go for encrypting the traffic or data before transmitting the data into the target device. So we can also impose, or we can also consider FC switch controls as well as port controls. So we'll take in detail. So here we are having different security zones as well as how the protection strategies can be considered. So as I mentioned before, zone A, that is nothing but authentication at management console. So here the protection strategies considered are, the first one is restrict management LAN access to authorized users. So that means lock the entire MAC address. The second strategy implemented is implement VPN tunneling for secure remote access to the management LAN. Also, we can also use two-factor authentication for the network access. So these are the three different protection strategies considered with respect to authentication at the management console. Similarly, zone B, that is nothing but firewall. So we can provide the protection strategies by blocking inappropriate traffic. So block inappropriate traffic by filtering out the address that should not be allowed into your LAN. So filter out the entire address and allow only few set of addresses, that is with respect to the given LAN. So the second strategy is screening for allowable protocols. Screening for allowable protocols so that we can block the ports that are not in use. So if the ports are not used, in such instant we can block those ports. So the next zone is zone C, that is access control switch. The protection strategies can be implemented as authenticate users as well as administrators of FC switches using remote authentication dial-in service. So that is RA radius, remote authentication dial-in user service. So also we can consider Diffie-Hellman challenge handshake protocols and so on. So we can provide the authentication between the user as well as the administrator of the FC switches using radius or DH, that is Diffie-Hellman challenge handshake protocol. So similarly we are having zone D. So we can restrict fabric access for unauthorized host by implementing arbitrated control loops, that is ACLs, known HPAs can connect to the specific switch ports only, as well as the second implementation method is by implementing a secure zoning method. So we can adopt zoning concept and we can provide the security such as port zoning, that is also called as hard zoning. Similarly, zone E, that is switch to switch or switch to router. So protect traffic on fabric by using ePort authentication or else encrypt the data in the traffic and implementing FC switch controls and port controls. So the next one is zone F, that is distance extension. So here this security measures can be implemented by encryption for in-flight data as well as fiber channel SP for long distance, that is a fiber channel extension, and IP security can be implemented for SAN extension via FC IP, that is fiber channel IP. So the last zone is zone G, switch to storage. So protect the storage array on your SAN via WWPN based LAN masking or else SID locking as well as masking based on the source FC address. So these are the different strategies so we can implement zone wise in order to protect the data, So the basic SAN security mechanisms are, the first one is LAN masking and zoning. The second one is securing switch ports. Third one is switch wide and fabric wide access control, logical partitioning of a fabric, that is virtual SAN. So we'll take these topics in detail. LUN masking and zoning. In the case of LUN masking and zoning, those are the basic SAN security mechanisms used to protect against unauthorized access to the storage. These standard implementations of LUN masking on the storage arrays mask the LUNs presented to the front-end storage port based on the WWPN of the source HBAs. Suppose any unauthorized users are trying to access the data, so this will avoid by considering the LUN masking. So it also offers a mechanism to lock down the FC address of a given node port to its WWN. So we can consider WWN zoning, which is most preferable choice if you are considering security concepts. So next comes the securing switch ports. So security mechanisms such as port binding, port lockdown or port lockout and persistent port disable can be implemented on the switch port. So the port lockdown and port lockout restrict a switch port's type of initialization. So typical variants of port lockdown ensures that the switch port cannot function as an E port and cannot be used to create the ISLs, that is inter-switch links. So in some cases, which also ensures the port role is restricted to only either FL port, E port or F port, etc. So the persistent port disable prevents a switch port from being enabled even after the switch reboots. So the next technique is switch wide and fabric wide access control. So in the case of switch wide and fabric wide access control, the network security can be configured on the FC switch by using access control list ACLs and on the fabric by using fabric binding. So we can also have the role-based access control, which provides additional security to the SAN by preventing the unauthorized activities on the fabric. So the last concept is logical partitioning of a fabric, that is virtual SAN. So the virtual SAN enables the creation of multiple logical SANs over a common physical LAN. So this virtual SAN provides the capability to build larger consolidated fabrics and still maintain the required security and isolation between them. Logical partitioning of a fabric, that means vSAN or virtual SAN, which enables the creation of multiple logical SANs over a common physical SAN. So here we can observe that the SAN administrator can create two different virtual SAN, that is vSAN 10 and vSAN 2 is 20. So that means in the example, the switch ports are distributed over 10 and 20. Those two are the virtual SAN created. So the one virtual SAN created was used for engineering. The other virtual SAN is nothing but HR virtual SAN. Although they share physical switches with other divisions, they can manage individually as a standard single fabric. Zoning should be done for each vSAN to secure the entire physical SAN. Each managed vSAN can have only one active zone set at a given time. So this is one active zone, I can say, with respect to vSAN 10, that is engineering, and we are having one more zone which was created so for vSAN 20. So vSAN minimizes the impact of fabric-wide events because it can manage as well as control the traffics on the SAN. So these fabric events in one vSAN are not propagated to the other one. So this is one entire restricted zone, that is one zone, and this is one more zone. So the fabric or the data cannot be propagated between the zones. Zoning should be configured for each vSAN. So the entire zoning configuration must be done for vSAN 10 as well as vSAN 20. So this is how we can provide the security with respect to SAN by considering the virtual SAN. So those virtual SANs are nothing but creation of multiple logical SANs over a physical over a common physical